Hi everyone, it's Nick from Bake Your Way Kitchens. I apologize if you hear any noise upstairs. The rest of my family is upstairs doing other things. I thought I'd make this quick video to show you the tools that I will be using in my baking videos. I may on occasion use other tools, but these are the main ones that you will see from me on a daily basis. So I'll just start going from the left to the right, and I'll explain the function of each and why they're very important in the baking process. So first off is baking spray. Now, originally, I was never a huge fan of baking spray. I used to just simply grease the surface of, or you just, not grease, just butter. But I just find it so much easier, a lot quicker, and I mean, you save on a few calories, which is a plus in my book. And the next thing, and one of the major items here, is a KitchenAid stand mixer. I do use a stand mixer a lot. For most things I will make, you can use a hand mixer, or you can do it by hand, but the stand mixer just makes things a lot easier. So I would definitely recommend that you go out, if baking is something that you really want to do, it's definitely worth the investment. Yeah, so they're great. And you'll see here there's 3 attachments. These are the 3 main ones that you'll see me use. The one right here, this one, is called a dough hook, and this is used when you're making bread. So when you're combining all the ingredients, the flour, the yeast, the water, the salt, the milk, all those ingredients, you would be using that, and basically it's faster than doing it by hand. It quickens the kneading process. And right here we have a paddle attachment. You use this for most recipes that you would be doing in KitchenAid mixer, be it cookie dough, brownie batter, anything that you don't want to incorporate a lot of air into, and want to keep from developing a lot of air. You will use this for most recipes, and you will see me use it for most recipes. Beside it is the whisk attachment. This is what you use when you're making a meringue. If you're trying to make whipped cream with heavy cream, this is what you use, because you're trying to incorporate a lot of air into what you're making. So I don't use that as much. And again, you want to use that for something you want really, really light and airy. You wouldn't want it for, say, a cookie batter, otherwise it wouldn't turn out quite well. Let's see what's next here. We have a Pastry Blender here, and this is used when you're doing by hand, when you're incorporating cold butter into a flour mixture, and you often see this with pie crusts. Now, I normally do pie crusts in a food processor, but you can easily do this by hand with a Pastry Blender, and you simply incorporate the cold butter in with the flour using that attachment. The next thing is a square pan, an 8-inch or a 9-inch. I will be using a bit of both in my recipes. I'll often use these for squares, brownies, those types of things, you often use these for like candies, squares, those types of things. Right here is just simply a cooling rack for cookies, for anything you bake that you want to sit on a wire rack to cool. This is a good place to put it. Right here I have a zester, and the reason this is a good function, not just for cooking, it's also great for baking, is when you're incorporating things like lemon zest and orange zest. If you're trying to include whole nutmeg, you can, if there's nutmeg in your recipe, you can process it through this, and it will be very nice and fine. Way easier than trying to chop it up into very, very fine pieces. Over here, as I'm sure you all know, spatula, very important tool. It helps you to incorporate stuff in your bowl. It's just easier, especially if you're transferring things from bowl. It just picks everything up so much easier. Right here we've got simply a whisk, and you'll often use this when you're incorporating eggs into a mixture of some kind, or if it is eggs and they need to be beaten, you simply use a whisk if you're not doing it in a stand mixer. Right here I have a cookie scoop. I have cookie scoops of different sizes. This is a tablespoon and a half. I do have one that's up to a quarter cup, so I do have some very large ones. So the uses I have vary. Primarily they're for cookies, but you can also use them for cupcakes, muffin batters, things like that. And what I love about it is that you get a uniform product, and I think that's important in baking because it just makes it a lot more appealing. Right behind it all is a scale, and it's a digital scale, and I absolutely love it. You turn it on, you can add ingredients, zero it out, add other ingredients, and as I say, when it comes to measuring dry ingredients, I do it all by weight measurements. So this is a very, very handy tool, and I always use it for everything I do. Oh, I don't know why it just went to -1. Oh, it did it again. Anyway, and right beside it I have a sifter. And so basically, if you're making anything with flour or cocoa powder or anything that could have lumps in it or things like that you want to get rid of, you can process it through that, and that makes it a lot smoother and a lot easier to incorporate with other ingredients. Right in front of it here we have a measuring cup, and I use this just simply for measuring liquid ingredients like milk and water, vinegar, broth, any purpose really. That's great. I use these little bowls, or little cup, I don't know what you want to call them, just little bowls, for keeping small ingredients. For all the recipes I do, I like to have everything ready already, so that I don't need to worry about it. As soon as I get started, I can get started. I don't need to be running around looking for so-and-so. I like to have all my ingredients ready, so having those little containers for things like extract or baking soda, for things that like only require a teaspoon or something, that's very good. And right here I do have tablespoon, teaspoon, half teaspoon. I do have other teaspoon sizes, but those are the main ones I wanted to feature in this video. When it comes to things like baking soda and things like that, I don't weigh those. I mean, I know obviously you can get an even more accurate measurement if you weigh even the small ingredients, but you know what, it's so minuscule, and I just always just stick to this route. That's the way I go with that, so yeah. And here I got just a standard bowl. I oftentimes, you will see me not just using my stand mixer, but I will also be doing things by hand, either with a spatula or a whisk, or with a handheld mixer, which I have right here. And this is because I just, sometimes when you're doing certain recipes, you need multiple bowls, and you can't always do it all in a stand mixer, so I set my priorities for things like that need a lot of mixing for the stand mixer, and things that only need just a few simple stirs in just a regular bowl. And right here I've got a muffin tin, and you can use these for a variety of things like muffins, cupcakes, and I do a variety of assorted dessert treats also in the muffin tins. They're very multifunctional, so you'll often see me using one of these. And then right beside it we have a cookie sheet, and again, you can use these for quite a few things, but yeah, cookies is the main thing for a cookie sheet, of course. Then we've got a pie plate right here, and a cake pan right here. And as you can see, it's got a feature to turn, and that's basically to help you get the cake out of the pan after it's done baking. And yeah, so these are the main things. So we've got the cooking spray, stand mixer, and the 3 attachments: the whisk, the dough hook, and the paddle attachment, the pastry blender, the zester, the baking pan, wire rack, and then the measuring cup, measuring teaspoons, scale, sifter, and we've got the pie and the cake pans, cookie sheet, muffin tins. This is the cake tester. If you put it in and it comes out clean, then you know your cake is done when it's baked out of the oven. And we have this, I forgot to show this earlier, it's an egg separator, and this is genius because if you know it's such a pain to crack eggs when you're baking. I hate it until I saw one of these. It keeps the yolk and puts the egg whites in a separate bowl. It makes your life a lot easier. I definitely recommend one of these. They're like $1. What else do we have? One other thing is the loaf pan in the back. You'll often see me making bread from this, or I mean, it's very multifunctional, and there's so many uses for all these ingredients, for all these baking supplies. Yeah, so these are the main ingredients, and I'll just show you quickly the oven. I have one here, and this one is actually in Celsius, and this is one of our ovens, and our other one is right here, and this is this measures in Fahrenheit, and it's a little bit bigger. And so yeah, so I will sometimes be using this one and sometimes that one. Anyway, this was just simply a quick video to show you some of the tools I will use and some of the tools you'll see. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment, and please feel free to leave me feedback. I apologize if the quality of this video is not great. I'm still learning it all, but anyway, I look forward to please stay tuned to see more videos. I will be posting some recipe videos this week, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.